Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, time for our next act in this Songwriters Circle. Yes, I am going to keep leaning on that for the rest of the evening. Thank you, Sue. Time for our next act for the Songwriters Circle. In 1996, the Bing Turkby Ensemble was formed, and the first song, Crumbly, quickly followed by the first album, Neutered Plementos, quickly made sure that the Bing Turkby Ensemble was going to become a staple of the Palmerston North music scene. Cut to last year, the release of Atlantean Night Tourists, but that doesn't encapsulate all that Bing is. He is not just a songwriter, he is also a novel and story writer as well, for the young and musicians alike. The message for the audience of the Bing Turkby Ensemble has always been have a go, have fun, start a band, see what happens. It's a message that I personally really dig as well. But hopefully to tell us a little bit more about the inspiration behind that, please welcome Bing Turkby.
Cheers, thank you very much. That was some good promo there, I like that. I'll have you at the start of every gig, thank you very much. So yeah, the first song I wrote was Crumbly, but I wasn't going to play that, so I was hoping you wouldn't mention. So, but still an early song. Looking back on it now, because it's been going for a little while, it's still quite early, is one that, so I started writing pretty much only concerned with rhyming stuff. So just putting lots of words together and then rhyming them with some other words. So that's why I ended up with one called Have Tui in Wanganui, which I hope you will join me in singing, because even if you don't know it, it will take but a second to learn it as I sing it. Haven't played it on acoustic before, but it's all going to come together eventually. I'm just going to start again. He said, don't come round and let your face be seen. He said, she said, it's all over, you know what I mean. And I said, my friend said they'll come and smack your face. Said they'll come around and damage the place. I have a tui in Wanganui. A dewey, still rhyming here. In Wanganui. I was cruising around one time late at night. Applied pressure to my brakes so I could stop for the light. Some guy looked over and says, you don't look right. Around here, that's a good excuse for a fight. I have a tui in Wanganui. Dewey in Wanganui. Now, you have to imagine a saxophone solo for me, please. Imagine the best saxophone solo that you've heard with a kind of rock jazz influence, and just superimpose it onto this next bit. Type of deal. I was lying in the gutter with some broken bones. Those naughty bogans wouldn't leave me alone. I offered to buy everybody a beer. Then suddenly the air was clear. Now at this stage, traditionally, was that some echo? That's nice. There'll be some clapping. And up there on the second floor, we should hear, kicking in real soon, have a tui in Wanganui. That's right, thank you, second floor. A dewey. First floor. In Wanganui. Thank you, first floor. Ooh, I have a tui in Wanganui. A dewey in Wanganui. Yeah. So I did lots of rhyming back in the day, and then I started to try and think about how to write songs properly, or a bit better anyway. And then, of course, what happens, I don't know about anyone else, but you kind of get better and better and better at it, right? And then you get so good at it that you end up being as good as you were to start with. But you're able to explain what chord you're playing. So really, it's just learning enough to come back to being stupid again. Well, it is for me anyway. So I'll start. Thank you for that question, Fraser, you're just about to ask me, with either a mental image or perhaps a phrase, is just a phrase, has popped into my head. So one of the more recent ones, I was trying to think of something to do that's a bit steampunky, you know? And I thought it'd be awesome if some sky pirates took over Wanganui. So sky pirates take Wanganui, phrase pops into my head, and then I'm able to kind of write from there. And oh, thank you. Another good question, Fraser. What instrument I write on? Because I'll often start writing on guitar just because that's what I'm most comfortable on, particularly if it's a flattering shade of guitar. I'm very comfortable with a nice small-bodied guitar sitting on my lap, imagining a glass of fine wine, straight fresh from the plastic bladder. And I'll be thinking, I don't drink wine, I just made that up. What was I saying? Yeah, so start on the guitar. And, you know, I don't know if other guitar playing writers have this, but because I write in the kind of genre of ignorant rock, I'll get lots of riff ideas come to me, and I'll just write a riff, like, yeah, it's going to be a great song later. That one's going to be a great song later. There's 2 more riffs this week. Yeah, just record them, you know, and I'll make a song later. And you go back later and never make a song out of them. So for me anyway, trying to write a song from a riff hardly ever works, so I have to have an idea. So when I get something like Sky Pirates Take Wanganui, or indeed the airship Manawatū, for which I'm going to play you tonight, I'll start writing on the guitar, then I'll write all the other parts and drums and the bass and stuff like that, with the help of my good friend who helps me with songwriting, Mr. Logic Pro X. He's a very good drummer, a friend of mine. Then I'll go back and usually delete the first guitar part that I thought up, because everything else has come back and filled in the gaps to inform what the final guitar part should be like, you know? So you get a chance to rework it, and usually the less I play, the better on the guitar. But there you go. I'm going to play lots tonight because that's all I've got is a guitar. I would like to play for you one of my most recent songs, which is actually not for the Bing Turkby Ensemble, but for the band Heavy Blarney. And I'm just going to play in D or D and a half. No, we're going for D. Just so you all know, next time you ever have a gig with me, I maybe do more talking than playing. So you remember that's how Billy Connolly started out, eh? He was playing with Jerry Rafferty and the Humble Bums, and eventually Jerry Rafferty said, why don't you just do a comedy gig? You just don't stop talking. So, okay, I'll be a comedian. I'm halfway there, living on pretty. Just some nomenclature for you when you're at a band practice or something. There's D, and this is D and a half. That's going up. Up a half is D and a half. And if you want to take it from the top, let's take it from the ice cream. Let's take it from the tip top. Okay? In this song, there's a couple of, there's at least one beauty school and maybe even a stressed professional. So there's a dropout and a breakdown. And then we pretty much go back and take it from the ice cream. So, I'll just turn my iPad on. I can't read that. Man, I wish I had an iPad. I could probably just sing half of it, the bits I remember, because I've used up all my time anyway. Again, I'm just going to rhyme a lot, and you'll learn this chorus really quick. So this is a song for the whole Manawatū area. And it's a steampunk song called The Airship Manawatū. And it's got, actually, a bit where I changed. Oh, look at that. Oh, there would be great. Lectern-tastic. Whoa. See, people think iPads are convenient, but if you had a nice compact thing like this massive desk that you could just take around to gigs, you'd be sorted. This has got, as well as a stress professional and a beauty school, and going back to the tip top, the ice cream, there's a couple bits where I play in a slightly different time signature, which is kind of by accident, which is awesome. I love it when that happens. And then you can go back later, and when you're trying to show the rest of the band how to play it, they go, what are you doing? And that's when you find out. And I find that fascinating. We're lovers, not fighters, we're coming for you, flying the airship Manawatū. On the quarter deck stood our cap. Sorry, that's me. strong and sure of purpose. We rose through the air and the ship reached the clouds like a whale at the ocean surface. We loosed from our mooring at the break of day. The wind was in the rigging, down in the engine room where nobody could see. The stokers were quietly swigging. We're lovers, not fighters, we're coming for you. Flying the airship Manawatū. Well, the gas bag lifted our jaunty ship. 25 songs all told. Come on, iPad work. Brass fittings gleamed as we slid through the air. Treasure was piled in the hold. Loose from our moorings. That's the previous one. This iPad's broken. Ship had to go. You get the idea anyway. Then I'm just going to quickly work out what that is. It doesn't seem to be that. Just my playing. Yeah, anyway, that goes like that. There's some other bits and a banjo. What else have we got there? Oh, a cover, yeah. So, a song that really inspired me was 1983, A Merman I Should Turn to Be, by Jimi Hendrix Experience. I didn't realise I had to be able to play it, so I was just going to tell you about it. It's awesome, eh? You guys, you know it. Fantastic song. Symphonic, epic, lots of changes in dynamics, awesome lyrics, as appropriate in 1969 as they are now. And yeah, so apart from, since I can't do that, I'll have to play Hey Joe. Speaking of songwriting, so and learning to play, if I've got 2 more minutes, it's like Tai Chi, eh? So when you start off, you can play Hey Joe with these chords. 1, 2, yeah. Where you going with that? With that gun in your hand, yeah? And then you get a bit better and you can start to do. You can put different ornamentation and kind of stuff in it, and you just kind of play less and less. You only play what you need to play, right, eh? Until you get to you just a, it might be something like that. So you just kind of, to me, it's really like Tai Chi. You get deeper into it, and then you only play what you need to play. So that's kind of fascinating. And yeah, so what happened was I was learning French at high school. We called it high school. It was a bollocks school, really. Oh, anyway, boys' college. And Mr. Ton was the Vietnamese French teacher. He didn't teach Vietnamese French. Well, he did teach Vietnamese French. He was the French teacher, and he was Vietnamese. And so we learned French with a Vietnamese accent. And he'd go, and we go, and he'd go, no, and we go, and it was just awesome. That was pretty much a whole lesson. And he got bored to death of it. And so there was only 2 of us left in the class after Stefan Falk left and he went back to Germany, and other people it was boys' college, so they were just walking out. So, in Wanganui, having a tui. So, got to the stage where he went, well, you might as well just go and practice your French outside. That's ear bunnies for people on the radio. I'm making there. Practice outside. So, Willie Cooper grabbed a guitar and he tried to teach me to play Hey Joe. And he failed, obviously. But it was good fun, and so that's a cover that inspired me. So, yeah, thanks very much.
So, Bing, as we said, you've been in a couple of acts, but I like the origin story of the Bing Turkby Ensemble, the fact that it wasn't an ensemble.
Yeah, that was a joke that was only funny for a couple of minutes. As immediately, possibly even before the first gig, or maybe during the first gig, Tyrone T. Blowhard came and said, hey, that looks like fun, shall I play with you? And I went, okay, damn it, now it's turning into an actual ensemble. It was supposed to be funny because it was just me and my tape deck. Those early ones were cool with the tape deck because, geez, if you don't think I'm old, you probably can tell. But I am quite old, so we used to have a tape deck on stage on an iPad stand like this, and because it was early days, I'd push play, and then you'd just hear for a while, and then the song would start, and I'd be like, awesome, so, oh shit, I'm still talking. Oh, now I have to rewind it. Rewind. No, not quite right. It was awesome. Yeah. So that was quite funny being an ensemble. But then as more band members joined and it sounded like a band, it was like, oh, who does he think he is having an ensemble?
How important is the wig? Is that a source of inspiration?
Yeah, the wig is... I started wearing Mum's wig when I first started performing because I didn't really want to perform. And so I went on stage as someone else. And then I did a couple of gigs like that, and then I was getting a bit more confident, so I turned up without the wig, and there's people at the stomach going, "Where's the wig, man?" So I better wear the wig. And I'm getting, as you know, from one of those gigs, getting sunstroke out there because it's just too damn hot. So I'm trying to transwiggin out of the way from the wig, and see if people still recognise me.
And shameless promotion time. Next gig?
Manawatū People's Radio is awesome, by the way. Thank you very much for organising this and the library. Cheers. So Heavy Blarney is taking some Sky Pirates over to Wanganui on the 1st of June, and that's going to be pretty awesome. Looking forward to that. And then, apart from that, we're just sitting in our gold-plated jacuzzis, watching the app earnings roll on in, and if a gig appears, we will trap it and kill it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Almighty Paki Paki, a round of applause for Bing Turkby.